Welcome to Microsoft Virtual Academy, Darren.
Hey, Jerry, how are you?
I am getting started with Template 10. How are you doing?
I'm behaving well, thank you.
Nice, that was good. We are talking about behaviors. That's the encapsulated code that you can declaratively add to your XAML. There are several behaviors that come with Visual Studio. That's true.
That is
not
true.
what I meant to say, though.
No.
There are several behaviors that come with Template 10 and
Even
inside
better.
that library. Yes. And so, what are they? Well, we've been talking about a lot of them, and right now we're going to be talking about
Key behavior.
key behavior. This is another trigger behavior, a type of behavior you would add that is listening for some kind of event, in this case, a key event, key up or key down, depending on which one you specify. And then it executes the actions that you have given to it as children. So let's talk about the key behavior and especially the properties of it.
Mm-hmm. So you can attach it to any UI element. That's a key thing first and foremost. So it's going to be responding to, as you mentioned, either the key up or the key down.
Okay.
And we can specify what key is going to be the driver for the response and whether any of the modifier keys are also required. So you could specify whether it must be, say, the enter key plus alt.
Yeah. Got it. So I could a typical use of this might be a search box where I'm typing something in and I want to respond to enter, and I want to make sure that enter then causes the invocation of the search. Mm-hmm. Another one might be I'm inside a first name field and I want to listen to tab, and I want to advance the focus depending on, giving that kind of experience to the user. So I can listen to, and maybe only tab with shift or tab with control, or because I listen to all the modifiers together, I have a lot of options that way.
Yeah, I mean, you could also imagine perhaps having pop-ups that give you possible words. So you could do Control H for hint or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's right.
There's lots of interesting
Didn't
behaviors.
even think of that one. That's a terrific idea. Okay, so I have a quick example to show you, and we've attached this behavior to a text box. So let me go ahead and show you. I'm inside what is basically the minimal application, or the minimal template. And I have this text box that is passing a parameter. And so right now there is no behavior attached to it, and so we'll add one. And so I will just uncomment this out. And so
if only it was that easy all the time. The code was already written for me, and I'm just going to uncomment it.
Well, just for the sake of interesting, I have the visual tree down here where I can see the same text boxes right here. And I have my Assets tab as well. And so if I go, no, don't forget, I'm inside Blend, not inside Visual Studio.
In Blend.
So I can go to the Behaviors
Looks the same,
tab.
but not quite the same.
That's right. More capabilities around the XAML side of things. So I can go and look for, what is this one called again? Key behavior.
Key behavior.
There it is, key behavior. So I could drag and add it onto my text box right here, and it gives me the same syntax as I had below. I don't have any child actions yet. I would have to drag those on to it as well. But then what I can do is go into its properties over here and kind of start setting up its capabilities. So I can say, which key is it going to be? And it lists all the keys that the user, there's a lot of keys.
There are a lot of keys.
Yeah. And
keyboard.
Yeah, there's a board full of them. And there's a lot. So look at that, right control. And right control plus control. I guess you'd have to, don't make it overcomplicated. All right, so we'll say when the P is pressed, but only on key up and key down. This is actually important because key down occurs prior to actually changing a value. You know what I'm saying?
Key up or key down?
Key down. Key down. Yes. Key down, then it applies the value, and then key up, right? So you can do it before it even shows up.
You can reject
Probably, because you can reject it. Yeah. This behavior doesn't reject it, by the way.
Yeah.
That's an interesting little capability we could add into that. Handle equals true,
Well, you could imagine introducing a behavior into your app that would really frustrate your users.
Every key.
Yeah. I'm not accepting I.
Or now we need an action that appends to the end of a string. So as they type, it appends the wrong letter. That's terrible. Terrible.
It's called autocorrect.
You're making millions off of that. You just came up with something. They'll make websites after us.
Yeah.
All right. So you can attach to either of the events, either key up or key down. By default, it is key down. Up. What is the default?
Key up, I think. Yes, key up.
It is key up. All right. That makes more sense. All right. So key up. That's why it was already key up, and I didn't have to make a change.
Exactly.
I could have figured that out, I guess. Then all the modifiers are there, so you can see whether or not shift or control or alt, and you might be creating your own special keystroke for some important thing that you have going on, like saving all, or whatever it is. So, Shift S is not Shift F, Control Shift S is sometimes save all, so I could do that as well. So, and there it is. That's what it would look like. Control Shift S. And then I could have an action inside that behavior that calls to a method that saves all, something like that. So it's an easy implementation without me having to figure out which event and how to handle it all. It's all wrapped up.
It saves a bunch of code behind.
It saves a bunch of code behind. This is hopefully something you'll be doing a lot of times, so it'll be nice for you. All right, another thing that's important is the rest of the demo. Because I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to do it this way. All right, so now it's on enter. So when I hit enter, it goes to the details page. And we know that go to details is actually a method. And so I'm calling go to details.
So effectively, enter is going to submit the parameter and navigate.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So let's see. This is right out of the template. I didn't even have to add this one. It ships with the template just like this. So I'll pull this up. I can go. You can see gas is already pre-populated.
Uh-huh.
That's funny by itself. All I have to do is hit enter as so. And because of a previous demo, I took that out. But it navigates to the detail page and passes the parameter. Nonetheless, that's the way it works. This is the key behavior. It's intended for things really like the text box, but it can be used on things like the auto suggest box and just about anything that has key events, which is pretty much every UI element. Sometimes those events aren't raised because they don't have the ability to actually get the focus. But if they can, you can handle it this way. Declare the whole thing inside your designer. It's a beautiful thing, easy to do. You get it for free. Good luck.